So the big question is this: how do you lose all the weight that you want and actually keep it off for the rest of your life, while trying to make sense of all the noise that comes from the weight loss industry? That is the question. And this podcast will give you the answers.
G'day guys, and welcome to the next episode of the Weight Loss Secrets podcast. My name is Baron Grant and I'm rapt to be with you today to be able to talk through some more ideas, tips, tricks, thoughts, something, anything that's going to help you to be able to lose that weight and keep it off without any silly potions or counting calories or any of that nonsense. We do it the right way and the real way. And as always, this episode is brought to you by Ditching the Diet, where you can go and check it all out online at ditchingthediet.com, and you can see my new book that you can download. You can get hold of my program. You can jump on my program, and you also click the button and just book a call with me and have a chat and see if I can help you on your weight loss journey. But with all that said, today I want to talk about the topic: if it's not measured, it's not managed. And this is a reality. You have to be on some sort of a structure. You need some sort of a structure, or be on some sort of a plan, or have some sort of idea of what you're doing each day. Because if you don't, nothing will change and nothing will happen. I've literally spoken to thousands of people who are on a weight loss journey, started a weight loss journey, halfway through, trying to finish, whatever, all the way along that process. And the big key for the ones that are successful is they have a plan. They have a structure. Because if you don't measure where you're at and then hold yourself accountable through that process, you will never win, because then it's not managed. And if something's not managed, nothing ever happens. That's the biggest challenge. When I have these conversations with people, I always find it fascinating. People who are heavily overweight, and I've mentioned this on other videos, they're heavily overweight, and I ask them what they eat, and they tell me some good stuff. But they generally forget a lot of stuff, a lot of people that I talk to. And I find out later on while I'm working with them that they didn't tell me about the chocolate they have in the evening, or they didn't tell me about whatever else. And you know why? It's not because they're trying to be deceitful or trying to deliberately lie. It's because you forget. You forget what you ate when you ate 16 times during yesterday. You forget, the 10th, 11th and 13th time that you put something in your mouth. We all eat pretty frequently generally. So when you're trying to recall that, it's quite hard. And so if you don't measure it and you don't understand what you're putting in your mouth and be conscious of it, you forget. And that's the same not just with the food we put in our mouths, but it's also the same with the water that we consume. It's also the same with the exercise that we do. So I want you to think about how you can effectively measure what you're doing. I always talk about 4 things. And it's ad nauseum I talk about these 4 things, because they are the magic pills when it comes to weight loss. There's no real magic pills, right? So you need a positive mindset, clean eating, water, and walking. Right now, positive mindset is easy to understand. Walking and water are easy to understand. But the clean eating, that's where the complexity is, right? What is clean eating? That's a whole other discussion. But these other 2 at the end here that I just mentioned, the walking and water, is very easy to track, very easy to monitor. But sometimes we might think we're walking a lot and we're really not. And so how do you manage your steps? How do you measure your steps? Well, simply put, I would encourage everybody to set a number. I often get people to walk about 12,000 steps a day, but those who are really keen to get this job done end up walking significantly more than that each day. So get yourself a Fitbit. It doesn't have to be a Fitbit. It can be any watch of any description that counts your steps. Now, a lot of those steps are completely inaccurate. Almost every watch, every smartwatch is completely inaccurate on steps. And that's okay as long as you wear it all the time, and so you can have a consistent reading every day. Whether it's off by 3,000 steps or not is completely irrelevant, because if you're driving in a truck or something and it's bouncing around, it's going to count as if you're walking, and you end up having way more steps than what you really did for the day. But that doesn't matter. What matters is that you consistently can see some sort of improvement if you're trying to get more steps. So wearing it on the same watch, the same wrist every time, and just watching what's happening every day is really important. Then you can set a target and you hit the target. There's measurement. And then you're going to win because you know every day that, bang, if I walk this many steps a day, if I drink the water and eat the food, I win every time. That's what works every single time. But you've got to measure it. You've got to measure it so you can see that you've got progress. You know, the guys in the gym who get really big, they have a little booklet and they write down their weights and they're super organized knowing what they need to do next, and they measure it. And those are the guys that win. If you don't measure it, you can't actually know whether you're doing a good job or not. You look at any sporting person, any professional athlete, everything is micromanaged and measured every single step along the journey. So measuring it is important. So that's your walking. How do you measure it? Get something around your wrist. And if you can't afford that right now, awesome. That's fine. Get an app on your phone. Everyone's got a phone. You can get an app and just keep that phone in your pocket, and that'll be able to count your steps. So you've got to find a way to measure it. Measure your steps. And if you measure it, if you can't walk and you're jumping on an exercise bike, measure the time, how long you're performing on an exercise bike each time. Water is another one. I want people to drink 3 liters of water a day. It's a great thing. I'm not going to explain why water is awesome, but it's important to measure it. We think we're drinking lots of water, and then when we actually measure it, we might go, I'm only drinking 1.5 liters. I'm only drinking half a liter. I'm only drinking 2 glasses. Unless you measure it, you really don't know. You know why? Because we forget. We don't remember. We think we remember stuff, but we just don't. And as we get older, it gets harder, right? You don't remember stuff as easily, I think, as when you did when you were 20. But or if you're me, you don't remember stuff as well as your wife does. That's just a pretty typical thing, I think. But measurement is important. So how many liters did you drink each day? And it needs to be liters, not mils. You know, you've got to be drinking 2 to 3 liters every day if you really want to get serious about losing weight. So measurement is important. I'm not one that advocates for counting calories and measuring in that sense, or weighing and measuring everything, but it's important to measure so you can see improvement. It's important to measure your weight as it comes down. Weighing once a week or so is great because it measures your progress. We have to measure so we can be held accountable to ourselves and other people. All right, so the people who are successful on this process keep track of what they're doing. You don't need a diary and fill everything out and be really detailed. A couple of tick boxes is enough. Or, you know, some alarms on your phone to help you hold you accountable through the process will help you to be able to measure how much water you've had throughout the day as well. Measurement is important. Make sure you're adding that into your process with whatever plan or whatever structure you're doing. If you're doing it by yourself or with someone else, make sure you add in a level of measurement so you can see that you're ticking your boxes every day. Food, water, walking. You do those things every day, you're going to win on this process. We'll talk soon.